Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Nashtuprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtihi. So continuing with the discussion on Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, the most confidential knowledge, text number 3 onwards. Ashwadhana Purusha Dharmasyasya Parantapa Aprapya Mam Nivartante Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. Krishna further says, those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. So in the previous verse, Krishna says, this is Rajvidya Rajvidya, Pavitramidam Uttamam, Pratyakshavagamam Dhamyam Susukham Kartum Avaya. And prior to that, he talks about service knowledge because we are not envious. Now he is talking about people who don't have faith in Krishna's words, faith in Krishna, faith in devotional service. Krishna says they cannot attain me. Obviously, if you don't have faith, then we will not follow the process properly. So how can we attain Krishna, who can only be attained by bhakti? And then Krishna says, therefore they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. The faithless can accomplish this process of devotion service. That is, the faith is created by. Well, here I want to say, not just faith, strong faith, or it becomes nishtha, fixed up faith. In the beginning, we might have some faith, or we might have some curiosity to let me see how this works, what the whole process is. Then without faith, without having proper faith in the process, we cannot make that faith is required. And then many times people say, no, first you show me God, then I will have faith. Well, we are not qualified to see God. You have faith, we have faith in the devotion service, and we follow the process. Ultimately, we will see God. But people somehow, maybe because they've heard so many different people talking about God, or maybe they have been cheated by somebody, or many times they got cheated by people claiming that they can take them to God or show them God. So that's when people lose faith in general public. They lose faith. But main ingredient faith. It starts. So without faith, we cannot make progress at all. In fact, the whole material world, it works on faith only, nothing else. But here, at least people have experience, or people know they can either manipulate or get around, or do something to get the work done. We'll practice it. Because we are dealing with something unknown, untangible. That's why it's very difficult to have faith. And that's when people don't want to get into it. But without faith, obviously, we cannot make progress either. Unfortunate people, even after hearing all the evidence of Vedic literature from great personalities, still have no faith in God. They are hesitant and cannot stay fixed in the devotion service of the Lord. Thus, faith is the most important factor for progress in Krishna consciousness. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that the faith is a complete conviction that simply by serving the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, one can achieve all perfection. That faith is very strong. Shraddha Shabda Vishwas ke Sudra Nishchay, Krishna Bhakti Karne Sarva Karma Karitva. Only by serving Krishna, everything can be achieved. Every perfection can be achieved. Only by that faith is real, strong, fixed up faith. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Yatha Tarurmula Nishechanena Tripyanti Tatskanda Bhujopishak Pranopahara Chucha Yathendriyanam Tathev Sarvar Arhanam Achyuteja. By giving water to the root of a tree, one satisfies its branches, twigs, and leaves. And by supplying food to the stomach, one satisfies all the senses of the body. And similarly, by engaging in the transcendental service of the Supreme Lord, one automatically satisfies all the demigods and all of the living entities. So this faith is required, that if, of course, the example is given, if we supply food to the stomach, automatically the energy, the nourishment goes to all parts of the body. Similarly, for a tree, if we supply water to the root, then automatically the water goes to all the branches, all the twigs, all the leaves, all the flowers, all the fruits. And Bhagavatam says similarly, if we just satisfy the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is the root of everything, who is the source of everything, then everything else will be automatically satisfied. Lots of faith is required in that. So the process is actually let the faith grow organically, slowly, gradually. And slowly, when the faith develops, then we can let the faith in the beginning, let it grow very gradually. It's okay. Prabhupada further writes, therefore, after reading Bhagavad Gita, one should promptly come to the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. One should give up all other engagements and adopt the service of the Supreme Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. If one is convinced of this philosophy of life, that is faith. Like somebody asked Prabhupada, how long does it take for one to surrender to Krishna? When Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, surrender unto me. Sarva dharmam parityaja mam ekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papepi mokshashyami bhajaj. He says, I will deliver you from all kinds of sins. Do not worry. Just surrender unto me. So how long does it take for somebody to surrender unto Krishna? Prabhupada said it takes only 2 seconds. But those 2 seconds, when will that come? I don't know. When we can fully surrender. Without any falling back on our abilities, on our capabilities, on our monetary balance, bank balance, without falling back on our relatives, without falling back on physical strength, mental strength, emotional strength, anything else. Just surrendering fully and then doing whatever he says. It takes lots of faith. It's not that easy. Of course, by reading so many different, the lives of so many devotees, how with faith when they surrendered and everything manifested in their lives, especially if you read Prabhupada's life history. But still, it takes lots of faith. And the whole thing is let it develop organically. Let it develop slowly. It's okay. Then Prabhupada further writes, now that three divisions of Krishna conscious men. In the third class are those who have no faith. Even if they are officially engaged in devotion service, they cannot achieve the highest perfectional stage. Most probably they will slip after some time. They may become engaged, but because they haven't complete conviction and faith, it's very difficult for them to continue in Krishna consciousness. We have practical experience in discharging a missionary activity that some people come and apply themselves to Krishna consciousness with some hidden motive. And as soon as they are economically a little well situated, they give up this process and take to their old ways again. It's only by faith that one can advance in Krishna consciousness. As far as the development of faith is concerned, one who is well versed in the literatures of devotion service and has attained the stage of firm faith is called a first-class person in Krishna consciousness. And in the second class are those who are not very advanced in understanding the devotional scriptures, but who automatically have firm faith that Krishna bhakti or service to Krishna is the best course, and so in good faith have taken it up. So there are various degrees of faith among neophytes and middle class, middle class, and the top class. Thus, superior to faith, but by third class person in Krishna consciousness may fall down, but when one is in second class, he does not fall down. And for the first class person in Krishna consciousness, there is no chance of falling down. One in the first class will surely make progress and achieve the result at the end. As far as a third class person in Krishna consciousness is concerned, although he has faith in the conviction that devotion service to Krishna is very good, he has not yet gained adequate knowledge of Krishna through the scriptures, like Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes third class persons in Krishna consciousness have some karma yoga or jnana yoga, or also have some tendency toward karma yoga and jnana yoga, and sometimes they're disturbed. But as soon as the infection of karma or jnana yoga is vanquished, they become second class or first class persons in Krishna consciousness. Faith in Krishna is also divided into three stages and described in Bhagavatam. First class attachment, second class, and third class attachment. In 11th canto, they are described. Those who have no faith, even after hearing about Krishna and the excellence of devotional service, who think that it's simply eulogy, find the path very difficult, even if they're supposedly engaged in devotion service. For them, there is very little hope of gaining perfection. Thus, faith is very important in the discharge of devotional service. In fact, not just devotional service, even if when we have a job, material job, if we have faith that I work throughout the month and this person, my boss, will pay me after a month, if we have faith, we will work, we'll put in our best effort. Without faith, nobody can work. We have faith, yeah, this guy will pay me. When we suppose we take the flight from Delhi to Mumbai, we just get the flight ticket, we go to the counter, get our boarding pass, we go to the gate, show our boarding pass, and they guide us to whatever seat we have. And then just down in the seat. We have full faith in the process. Although our life is in the hand of the pilot and the other crew members, but we have full faith, or we read a book, or we talk, or whatever we do. very relaxed. We are 35,000 feet up in the air. We are completely relaxed because we have faith. We have faith in the pilot, we have faith in the crew, we have faith in the airlines that they will take us safely to Mumbai. Suppose we don't have faith in when we get on the plane. So we'll start checking everything. Oh, we'll go to the pilot, show me your license, whether you learn how to fly or not. Show me. We'll try to check all the gauges in the flight, everything is working right or not, even if we don't have any knowledge how this gauge or that gauge works. Okay, we can get down and try to check the tire pressure, if the air pressure in the tire is everything is okay or not. And come on, if we don't have faith, how many things we're going to check? And still we won't be convinced. So it takes faith. Throughout our day-to-day activities, we work on faith. So same thing in spiritual life also. We have to have faith in the word of Bhagavad Gita, in the word of Krishna, in the word of spiritual master. But afterwards, we have to have faith in these words. Yes, I'm in the right hands, and if I keep on following the process, I'll attain what it is mentioned in the scriptures. So slowly in the association with devotees, our faith becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. And moreover, when we are making progress, there will be many changes in ourselves also, in our behavior, in our outlook, in our consciousness, in our thought process, in our dealing with others. There will be changes. Just like Shashwati Mataji asked the other day, how to get to the mode of goodness. Bhakti means it will take us to the mode of goodness, at least to the mode of goodness, if not beyond. So our life changes completely from, we were earlier mostly in mode of ignorance and passion, and some experiences of ignorance and passion will be there. But it will fade away very soon, or it will, or when the experience comes, it will be very short-lived. This is the process of bhakti, and moreover, also in bhakti process, we will start gaining some attachment towards Krishna. We'll start developing that attachment towards His name, attachment towards Krishna Katha, attachment towards serving Krishna, serving His devotees. We'll start developing that. So that means we are making progress. And developing that attachment to serve Krishna or His devotees without expecting anything in return. Respecting others without expecting that they are going to respect me. Of course, slowly, we'll develop all these qualities. Humility, tolerance, patience, all these wonderful qualities. We'll read further how many qualities or what kind of qualities a devotee will have. And in fact, when we were discussing that in the class, everybody said we should take a printout of this and keep it, paste it on all the walls in our house. So it keeps on reminding us we have to develop these qualities. So that it takes faith to make progress, obviously. Text 4. Now Krishna will start speaking something about himself. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina matsthani sarvabhutani na chaham teshu avasthitam. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Okay, oh, I'm sorry. Going back to the previous verse, again about faith. Ashuddhana Purusha, Dharmasyasya Parantar. So, just like in one of the classes when we were discussing, and I think Abhishek Prabhu and Radha Prabhu were there. So the conclusion was, अगर श्रद्धा नहीं है तो श्राद्ध तो होना है. So it's a matter of one matra. वो मात्रा कहाँ से कहाँ जानी है, श्रद्धा या श्राद्ध? It's up to you. It's up to us. What do we choose? तो आ की मात्रा कहाँ लगनी है? It's up to us. So might as well have Shraddha, so we avoid any kind of Shraddha afterwards. Okay, this text 4. By me and in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. So when he says I'm not in them, means he himself as Shyam Sundar form. He's not in everything, but his unmanifested form is there, and his Paramatma feature is there. Like we were discussing the other day, Paramatma feature. Paramatma feature is the Vishnu form. So not looks. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not perceivable through the gross material senses. Although he is there in everything, and everything has his energy, but we cannot perceive of him by our gross material senses. It's said, Ata Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grayam indriya, sevan mukhe hi jivado swayameva sfuratiyata. Lord Shri Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, etc. cannot be understood by material senses. Only to one who is engaged in pure devotion service under proper guidance is he revealed. So he is revealed. We cannot say, okay, show me God, and God will be shown to us. He will be revealed to whom? To those who are engaged in pure devotion service under proper guidance. So Krishna, Krishna of God, choose that don't want to show myself to this person, and I want to show myself to this person. It's completely up to him. Even to devotees, it's not like just because I'm chanting for 2 years and Krishna will come and shake hands with me. It's not going to happen. 2 years, 20 lifetimes, it's all up to Krishna. In Brahma Samhita it is stated, Preman Jana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadev Hridesha Viloki. One can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, always within himself and outside himself. If one has developed the transcendental loving attitude towards him. So the qualification is to develop the transcendental loving attitude towards him. Then he will reveal himself. Thus, for people in general, he is not visible. Here it is said that although he is all-pervading, everywhere present, he is not conceivable by the material senses. This is indicated here by the word avyakta murtina. But actually, although we cannot see him, everything is resting on him. So just like in the 7th chapter, Krishna says, this whole creation is what? His whole creation is resting on me, just like pearls are resting on a thread. In a necklace, pearls are resting on a thread. We don't see the thread, we only see the pearls. But the support or the foundation of everything is the thread. As we have discussed in the seventh chapter, only a combination of the superior spiritual energy and the inferior material energy. Just as the sunshine is spread all over the universe, the energy of the Lord is spread all over the creation, and everything is resting in that energy. So, without Krishna, without Krishna's energy, nothing is possible. Everything is resting on his energies. Yet, one should not conclude that because he is spread all over, he has lost his personal existence. To refute such an argument, the Lord says, I am everywhere and everything is in me, but still I am aloof. Still I am separate. For example, a king heads a government, which is but the manifestation of the king's energy. The different governmental departments are nothing but the energies of the king, and each department is resting on the king's power. But still, one cannot expect the king to be present in every department personally. It's not possible and it's not practical. That's a crude example. Similarly, all the manifestations that we see and everything that exists, both in this material world and in the spiritual world, are resting on the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The creation takes place by the diffusion of his different energies, and as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Vishtabhyam idam Krishnam. He is everywhere present by his personal representation, the diffusion of his material, of his different energies. So everything that we see, so we have to see Krishna's hand everywhere because everything is Krishna's energy. So that's why the knowledge is very important. When we are eyes and love for him and or grateful to him and have knowledge that everything belongs to him, everything is his energy, then we will see Krishna everywhere, actually. And Krishna can reveal himself from everywhere and anywhere. Just like when Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad Maharaj, where is your God? Is he in this pillar? And Prahlad Maharaj could see the presence of Lord Nrsimhadev in the pillar. And he said, yes, he's there. And obviously, when Hiranyakashipu hit the pillar, Lord Nrsimhadev came out. Now, whether the Lord was there or whether the Lord came out to fulfill the word of his devotee, it's hard to say. But Krishna is there, Lord is there. At least in his Paramatma feature or his energy feature, he's there. So similarly, Krishna is everywhere. His energies, his Paramatma feature, through that he's everywhere. He's present everywhere. He's in every single atom and distance, space between the two atoms. He's there. Just a matter of perception, whether we perceive him or not. And to do that, obviously, we have to have faith. So that faith is very important. Just like many times the people of Krishna. Well, the science, what is science? Just like in our math theorems, we used to assume something, say A is equal to B, then we go through lots of different steps to. But in the beginning, we had to assume A is equal to B. That assumption is a faith. And the going through the steps is a devotion service. And if we do the both things properly, we will get to the point A equal to B. We'll get to well of love for Krishna. So similarly, here in Bhakti, what is the beginning? A equal to B is what? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It starts with that. We can at least get convinced of that I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul, which is fine. Everybody can get convinced for that. But to have conviction that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the job of a soul, the dharma of a soul is to serve him. That is devotional service. We go from basic devotional service to the pure form of devotional service. And when we come to that level of pure devotional service, the result will be Krishna. Obviously, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but we will develop love for him. And love is not an end product. Love is on the while we are serving him, we start developing love for him. So yes, it starts with faith, and then slowly we start seeing him everywhere and start doing our devotion service. But he is everywhere. He is in the heart of every single person. And he is sitting in every atom of the universe. Nothing can happen without his sanction. Nothing. He is a supreme controller. He is a Parameshwara. He is the Lord of the whole universe. So his name is Jagannath. It's hard to come to it. Like Srila Prabhupada also, I believe it was in 75 or something like that. There was a meeting of all the leaders of ISKCON in Mayapur, and Prabhupada asked them. After the meeting, he had a meeting in his room because he would not go to the GBC meetings, and Prabhupada would be busy translating books or other activities. So after the meeting was over, everybody came to see Prabhupada in his room. And obviously, Prabhupada asked him what was discussed in the meeting and this and that. But one question that Prabhupada asked him was, are you sure, or not are you sure, let me remember it properly, the real words, that he asked them, do you think that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And this question he asked all the leaders of his movement. And one Maharaj was saying that if it was somebody else who had asked this question, I would have definitely said yes. But since Srila Prabhupada was asking, I had to be very careful in my answer. So nobody spoke a single word. What does it mean that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? That he controls everything. Nothing is beyond his purview. It's not like something happens in my life and I start thinking, oh, maybe Krishna is not watching, that's why it happened. Nothing can go unnoticed from his eyes. Nothing. Means no activity, no incident in anybody's life, or any living entity's life in the whole universe, in all the material universes, in all the spiritual planets, everywhere. Nothing can happen that he doesn't know. He doesn't interfere, that's a different story. That faith. And then on top of it, if somebody is a devotee or trying to be devotee, then then he has to be assured, he has to again faith that Krishna is my well-wishing friend and I am here serving Krishna. He will not let anything bad happen to me. He's my friend. Krishna says, Bhaktaram yagitapsam sarvalok maheshram. Suhridam sarvabhutanam gyata mam shantam vichati. Suhridam sarv. I am the well-wishing friend of everybody. Of course, those who don't have faith in him, those who are not serving him, they will not take it the same way as devotees can. So that conviction is required. And this is basically the idea behind all these classes and all the devotional services that we do, is to develop that faith in Krishna. It's difficult. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that. It is difficult. Especially when Krishna sends his energy, Maya, to test us. Then it becomes really more difficult to have faith. But again, when we pass the test, when we go through the test, and then we look back, then we see Krishna's hand everywhere. How Krishna protected me there, how Krishna protected me here, how Krishna took care of me. Just like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there was a teacher of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gangadas Pandit. So what had happened, Mahaprabhu actually once, he showed his opulent form as a Supreme Lord, and it went on for 72 hours. That pastime. And in that pastime, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was revealing his form and revealing to his devotees how he helped them. So he called Gangadas Pandit and he told Gangadas, do you remember that night when you were in distress and you were running from the Muslim soldiers? You were running for your life, you're running to save the honor of your family because your family, your girls, daughters were with you, and running. An old man pleaded to that old man, please take me across the Ganges, otherwise my family will be killed, my girls will be molested by Muslim soldiers. Remember? And you remember he took you and your whole family across safely. Gangadas, yes, 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 I remember. Mahaprabhu said, I came as that boatman. And then Gangadas, he just fell unconscious because of the happiness and because of gratitude for Chaitanya. He just fell down unconscious. Means Krishna is everywhere and everything that is happening is by sanctioning of Krishna. And he cannot and he will not let anything untoward happen in the life of a devotee. Later on, here in 9th chapter only, Krishna tells Arjuna, you declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. And Krishna says in Gita That Yoga Kshemam Mahamyam. I personally carry what my devotee lacks, and I personally protect what he has. He personally does it. He doesn't let anybody else do it. He doesn't let any of his energies do it. He doesn't even let Balramji come and do it. He personally does it. But that requires lots of faith. Of course, that is where um, we are lacking in full faith of Krishna. That's where we are lacking. If we have full faith, we'll be more very enthusiastically doing our services. So let us develop this faith slowly. But so keep on doing your bhakti, keep on doing your sadhana properly, and keep an eye open to everything that is happening around us, and try to see Krishna's hand everywhere. And that will make us develop that faith. If we just mechanically and routinely do our services, chanting and other services, we'll be working mechanically for a long time, many lifetimes. So if we do our services consciously, then slowly we will develop full faith in Krishna. So I guess time is getting over. I will stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. Sorry, it took 1 hour to just cover two verses. But this is a very important chapter. I just wanted to spend more time. Yes, Hare Krishna, Subhra. Yes,
Prabhuji, I got this doubt in this fourth shloka. The Lord says, every being dwells in me, but I don't dwell in them. And we have seen in many other chapters, again and again, Krishna say that I am Adi, Madhyam, and Anta of all beings. Also, every being dwell in me, and I dwell in all of them. Even in Aham Atma, in one of the shlokas in chapter 10, the Lord says, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhuta Shayastita, Aham Adim Cha Madhyam Cha Bhutanam Ante. So there also he says, I dwell in every human being as the super soul. So why is there a contradiction between the two shlokas?
As I said, he himself, as Shyam Sundar Krishna, two-handed form. He is not in everywhere. As Paramatma, he is everywhere. And he said, and by me in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. So as his energy of Jyoti, Brahm Jyoti is everywhere. But he himself, as Krishna, is not everywhere.
But then when in chapter 10, he says in a different sense, is it? But how will the person know? He uses the same terms in chapter 10 also. Krishna says, Sarva Bhuta Shayastita. So I'm residing in every being.
Yeah, as Paramatma. As a super soul, yes, he's everywhere. Super soul is also one of his aspects, but that doesn't mean as Bhagwan he is everywhere, as a form of Krishna.
But
Obviously,
Prabhuji, that is obvious, isn't it? He can't be present in his manifested form everywhere. Isn't that obvious? We are only when we are talking.
Well, when we say can be, means we are putting a limitation on him. We can put a limit on him. He can only do this thing. But what he means is, Of course, for his devotees, he's everywhere. As Shyam Sundar or whatever the Ishtadev of his devotees, as that form, he's everywhere. Just like in 13th chapter, there is a verse, no? He says, "My hands and eyes are everywhere."
Sahasrashi.
Yeah, Pani
Sarvatra
Padu.
Pani Padam.
Yeah. So means he's everywhere, but as Paramatma or in the form, in the unmanifested form. But for his devotees see him, see his personal feature as Shyam Sundar form everywhere. That's the love of his devotees. That's why it says, no, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. Those whose eyes are anointed with love, they see me everywhere. So lots of contradictions or confusions are there, but that's why we need a guru who can sort
Because
these.
I was just, while I was asking this question, I was looking at the other shloka also, where he denies him being neither, even the beings being inside him. So
Yeah.
that's what the contradictions were, I thought.
Yeah.
Because in
Thank
10th
you,
chapter onwards, 10 to 13, I think we ourselves have discussed so many times where Krishna again and again reiterates he is in everyone and everyone is in him.
Yeah.
So yeah, so right now since you have clarified that he is talking about his personal form not being in every being, so
Yeah.
that clarifies. Obviously, when we cover the 5th shloka, we'll have more doubts.
Yeah. Nachamat sthani bhutani. Yeah.
Yeah, he is denying both. So yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I have
Yes,
one question. अभी आपने जैसे बताया कि परमात्मा सिटिंग इन एवरीवन्स हार्ट as our Ishtadev. So Ishtadev.
नहीं, Paramatma is there, but Isht like Archana Mataji also asked this question. Ishtadev is, suppose I'm trying to be devotee of Radha and Krishna, but in my heart right now is Paramatma, who is the four-handed form. That's in everybody's heart by default. But when and if I become like I don't want anybody except Radha and Krishna, then they come sit in my heart instead of Paramatma.
Oh, and then Ishtadev can be a demigod also.
No, I mean Ishtadev can be, but that cannot replace Paramatma.
I mean, अगर मेरा ज़्यादा अगर faith for example कृष्णा में नहीं है और किसी और रूप में है, अगर वो दुर्गा माँ को मैं बहुत ज़्यादा मानती हूँ या मैं किसी और गणेश जी को बहुत ज़्यादा मानती हूँ, तो वो हमारे इष्ट देव नहीं है फिर, या
हाँ नहीं I said ना इष्टदेव हो सकते हैं, but they cannot replace Paramatma, because Krishna says in 7th chapter, no? If anybody wants to serve or worship a demigod, then I, sitting as Paramatma, I give him the faith. I make his faith stronger in that demigod.
अच्छा, okay.
That is different. But here, when we are doing bhakti, that is different.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Okay, Mata. Thank you. Yes, Archana Mata, you have a question, a comment?
Prabhuji, I want to discuss regarding the mechanical, which you said, na bhakti.
Mm-hmm.
How this works? Like mechanical bhakti means like we are doing everything. It's like no shraddha and all. Like without shraddha is mechanical. Like.
No shraddha or not even putting an extra effort to see where am I going, what I'm doing, what are the results.
So I come in that.
Huh? What's that?
I still come in that category.
We all are, Mata. We all are.
Because this literally struck me. The Shraddha is also like sometimes है, sometimes नहीं है, बहुत सारी है, कभी कुछ उल्टा पुल्टा हो जाता है, there is no Shraddha. Then क्या हो गया like?
साइन कर्व तो सबका चलता है, कभी ऊपर कभी नीचे.
Okay.
और
like मेरे को तो ऐसा लग रहा था mechanical kind.
Regarding chanting, I mean, we have to see, are we really chanting or are we just finishing our rounds? Are we completing our rounds, not finishing? Finishing to फिर finish ही हो जाएगा. Are we just completing our rounds or are we really chanting? Chanting means a prayer. Are we really praying? So that is active or passive, or mechanical or with full concentration.
Actually, another thing, there's a lady, and she recently in the sense about 2-3 years, she has joined ISKCON and is attending her classes, everything she's doing it properly. She's getting up at Brahm Muhurat and chanting down, and she started the Bhog Seva also. But her behavior towards her family at all, her husband, with everyone, all the relationships has gone for 6 months. So, is there any like chance that she's going to improve her behavior also towards her family members?
One thing is we should stop judging others. We can only correct ourselves. That's all.
No, but that
we can.
Sorry to interrupt you.
We can only rectify ourselves.
Okay.
We cannot judge others. And by judging others, also what we do is we develop a negative attitude towards them in a wrong way also. That is not good for us.
What should we do? We should just let it be like jaisa hai and anything. Like we should not.
If we are really concerned, we can pray to Krishna. We can only pray to Krishna. Until that lady or anybody else comes to us for guidance, for some help or something, that's a different story. Otherwise, just pray to Krishna. And even if she comes to it happens, be neutral, be very supportive, but at the same time, don't be judgmental. We try to become judgmental. That's the problem. I know. And then we commit offenses, actually. That's the problem. That's a bigger problem.
That's okay, Prabhuji, but ऐसे में लगता नहीं कि भक्ति का कोई value ही नहीं है if your behavior is towards your family member is not, right.
Again, we are becoming judgmental. I don't know the whole story. You don't know the whole story. Maybe it's their karma getting dissolved, previous life's karmas. I don't know.
Okay.
We don't know the whole story. That only we can know by detaching ourselves and looking from like with this, bird eye view. But that we cannot do. So let's not be judgmental. It will be very, very bad for us.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Martha.
One more question.
Yes.
Prabhuji, you have recently posted one message regarding Naam Aparadh. So while we are chanting, we just do the Naam Aparadh. Now, on the other hand, when we have started this process, we've taken this process, हमने यही सुना कि chanting जैसी भी है, please शुरू करो. I mean, करनी चाहिए. I mean, so many thoughts comes in our mind while we are chanting. Good thought, bad thought. But still we have to do chanting. We don't have to leave it. Now, on one side, we are saying that we have to do chanting no matter what happens. And on other side, we are talking about Naam Aparadh. So obviously, while we are chanting, we are not focused. We are doing this Naam Aparadh. So we are again, हम लोग अपने वो जो एक नाम अपराध का जो वो एक क्या बोलूँ मैं वो भी अपने अकाउंट में हम लेते जा रहे हैं और दूसरी तरफ हम बोल रहे हैं कि नहीं हमें कुछ भी हो जाए हमें चैंटिंग करनी है. So I mean थोड़ा सा confusion है.
So what is the solution for inattentive chanting?
I don't know.
How do we get over this inattentive chanting?
Of course, I mean
by trying to do attentive chanting. By giving up chanting, you cannot get over inattentive. So the idea behind Naam Aparadh is, yes, we should avoid it, but one has to be careful about it. That's all. One carefully try to avoid it, but at the same time, without chanting, we will not make any progress. So chanting is the most important activity, but at the same time, one has to be careful of not committing the offenses. And even if somebody has committed offenses, but at least whatever chanting he has done, it will be in his permanent asset record. So that way, yes, it's good. It's just like, suppose when you started to learn how to cook, your mom was teaching you and you picked up the knife and cutting vegetables, you must have cut your fingers also sometimes. Or while cooking, making puris, you must have burnt yourself also. But that doesn't mean you stop cooking. You keep on cooking, but you be more careful, that's all.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Martha. Okay, so I guess we can stop here. Hare Krishna. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.